Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Tanya Romaniuha. I am Cyprus chapter director of the Women in Tech Cyprus and head of operations at Tech Island, which is a tech association in Cyprus. Today we have a very interesting topic, the topic which is close to my heart. The resilience toolbox, skills and mindsets of women entrepreneurs. Some of you who have been on our last meetup, by the way, raise your hands who have been on our last meetup. Good. You remember that we started to dive into the topic of the entrepreneurship, startups, and we kind of proceeding into this direction. And today we have amazing speakers, which I'm going to introduce later. And we will speak about a very important skill as resilience. I think in our nowadays when everything happening and everything changing globally and all the political crises, wars and economical crises, resilience is one of the key skills we all need to build and embrace. So we're going to talk today about it. A few words about women in tech. We represent Women in Tech Global, which is a non-profit organization with mission to unite ladies and their allies around the world and embrace the world of technology and STEM for women and girls. And the global movement is present in 48 countries, and we have our Women in Tech Global Summit in Paris in May. So if someone interested to connect with fellow entrepreneurs and women in tech globally, you also may consider to join an event. What is important? Recently, our global chapter launched the Women in Tech platform, and there is also available the Cyprus chapter inside, where you can access the directory of members, where you can access the mentorship platform, where you can become mentee or can become mentor. For becoming a mentor, it's for free. For becoming a mentee, there are a small fee monthly. However, we've heard that there are some issues with the platform. As we represent the local chapter, for us it's heavily important to know your feedback. So if you are experiencing any issues with any of the two from our global sister, I would say, please don't hesitate to contact us so that we can push it, that we can facilitate it, and that we can make sure that you're not missing the opportunity. Also on the platform, there is available a job portal where you can both post the vacancies and also seek the jobs all around the world, also remote formats, so feel free to check it. There is an application as well, which you can download and access like all the chapters as well as Cyprus chapter. A few words about our team. We have Gala and Nadia, my beautiful ladies. We're all together on a voluntarily basis driving this forward, this mission driven project for us, and we have a group of volunteers, and we're always open for any new team members, volunteers. So if anyone wants to join our mission, please contact us. This is the QR code for the Cyprus chapter platform. Feel free to scan, to copy. This is a QR code for our Telegram group. In Telegram group, it's basically the chat, it's the main community for us. We do all the announcements there. We have a communication there. You feel free to ask any questions, to use the hashtags, to share some interest, and even, I don't know, reels from Instagram. We're doing even that, you know, just to support each other and to inspire each other. Our idea that we are aiming to make monthly meetup in such format. We're experimenting with the formats. Maybe we will start doing some kind of breakfast without the content. So also any ideas are super welcome. Monthly we do the format with content networking and some of the workshops. But you see, we're always experimenting. We're also kind of, treating it as an entrepreneurial experience in the way. We have launched the educational program Advocate for Yourself, which is an important program to build leadership skills, to define your goals, to define your career ladder, or to decide if you want to step out of the employment cycle and build your own product. It's everything about that, just to dive into your inner self and understand what do you want from the life. In a small group of fellow ladies, we have a few coaches which will be running workshops, which will be running the educational program itself. On 22nd of February, we are starting our first workshop. We're going to have monthly sessions with some homework and some tasks. And for all those who will register on the platform, we will make a raffle and you have a chance to win a free participation in the program. The program has a small fee, it's just to cover our expenses for venue rentals, etc., just to make it possible, because we don't have any sponsors for the program. So, if you want to enroll, please submit your application. This is the QR code to enroll in the educational program, Advocate for Yourself. Okay, everyone scanned. Good. We got a sponsor for 3 months. It's a company CellZ marketing tool. So thank you to our partners who support our mission. And as usual, our community partners, those organizations which supported the mission from the beginning, and we with Gala represent those organizations. And finally, I'm really keen to hear all the ladies. This is my personal role models, the ladies who have amazing entrepreneurial experience from different fields, from big companies with experience of launching startups, with experience of launching agencies. So it's really interesting discussion expect us. I am inviting you all. I think you will introduce. You will have a time to introduce yourself. Please meet Tonya Zhukova, co-founder and board member of Lobby. Luba Pashkovska, co-founder of Verve Group. Chris Osava, founder and CEO of Sponde. And my fellow partner Nadia Bogdanova, partnership manager at Quantum and partnership manager at Women in Tech Cyprus.
Tanya, thank you very much for introduction. So we are here today to talk about the resilience and how it's important for everyone's life, how to build it today. And we really have role models for our discussion. And welcome. A word from your side, ladies. It's in a hello? Yeah, it works.
So it's a short introduction, yeah?
Yeah, from Tanya.
Okay. So I'm a serial IT entrepreneurship, so it's quite hard to speak about myself. So I have 2 successful exits. Tech enthusiasts, so I built impressive here. I built a lot of high-performance teams, companies. We have such a great experience in international marketing and expansion in different companies. So really like wide background, different teams, so different experience, different startups from fintech to like deep tech companies like with modern AI technologies, etc. So.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here. I started my career in tech when I was 18. I'm now 38, so it has been 20 years on this journey so far, and I'm happy to share some of my experience. During the last 12 years, I believe, I've been building my own companies. So I'm coming from mobile, and most of my career I've been building fitness and wellness applications, the stuff that some of us do at home, for example, workouts, meditations, health and nutrition and stuff like that. So I've built around maybe 70 different applications that are being used by over 150 million people from all over the world. And also now I'm an angel investor. I sometimes invest in the companies I love. I also enjoy mentoring women who build their careers in tech. And this is the part I enjoy the most, to be honest, and that is why I'm so happy to be here. Because I do believe that our way in building our careers is different than the male experience. So I think one of the best things we could do is support each other. So let's share the stories and what else to add? I have 2 kids. I've lived in Cyprus for 2 years so far. I'm from Belarus originally. So happy to share some of my experience, and thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I am Chris Osava. I am the founder and CEO of Strandy. Strandy is short for Strategy on Demand, and we are a human-centric marketing technology agency and a tech startup. Our clients are mainly international organizations, including Motorola, Energizer, and Anthology. And the company has been founded in London in 2015, but with the main operations in Cyprus, which is where I'm also from. My main passion that gives me really excited about being an entrepreneur myself is empowering teams and having that empowerment really work in terms of company success. And I'm looking forward to sharing my personal story with you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with our question. So first question for you. You are already have more than 10 years, or actually it's 15, yes, 15 years of experience, and you work like a consulting, then you organize your own company, and on your LinkedIn page, there is a lot of recommendations and feedback from your clients, and they mentioned that they admire of your endless wealth of knowledge, fearless and free thinking, and also like a driven and enthusiastic person. Are these qualities your key skills for success? And could you please share with us maybe any additional skills that contribute to your resilience and success?
Okay. Well, firstly, I'll start with that. Those recommendations were way before I started my company. But when I reflect back on those recommendations, it's the fact that those were the skills that they kickstarted my journey. So before starting Strandi, I was working as a digital strategy consultant in a big consultancy in London, and we had big companies. So my clients were Sky, BBC, Orange, the telecommunications provider. So I had a very steady job, steady income, and I was also about to become a senior consultant. And then I thought, you know what? No, I just want to do something of my own. So that fearless element, it's what really made me decide I'm going to leave something that was steady to really pursue the unknown. But it was that knowledge. So if you know your product, your service, and you're knowledgeable about that, it means that you have done your research and you can take a calculated risk. For me, it was an easy risk. At the end of the day, you start something new. If it doesn't work out, you get another job. So you do some savings in the background. It's not really a risk. That's how I thought about it. But what really paid off, it was that, I think you said drive and enthusiasm?
Enthusiasm and driven.
Yeah, so I'm going to translate it to being...
Driven, enthusiastic person.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to translate that to being passionate. So for me, what paid off is I passionately believe in what I wanted to do. And that passion itself helped me open the doors, because if you have the knowledge is one thing, but to be able to communicate that, to communicate what you want, etc., you have to show it with passion. But over the last 8 years that I'm running Strandi, I believe I have nurtured and acquired other skills. So for me, it was important to be able to adapt. So adaptability is key, to adapt in different situations, adapt your product, your proposition, the way you communicate about your product, the way you talk in panels like this. I used to talk faster, so now I'm actually better at it. At least that's what I think. And the ability not to be afraid to fail, but also to take a failure as an opportunity, because it's an opportunity to learn. And you get the chance to learn about your wins, but it's important to also learn about what went wrong, so that you say, oh, I'm not going to do it the next week. So I think those were the additional skills that contributed to where I am today.
Yeah, so this the passion and that you have the brave, right? It's additional skills for you.
Yeah, I think you need to be brave to do something on your own.
Thank you so much. Luba, next question to you will be, we have only 2 microphones. So you have worked under the guidance of a very talented entrepreneur and IT startuppers, founders. How did you decide to make this movement from working in a successful big company to your own projects, to your own startup? What was the most challenging aspects of this decision?
Okay, so I've been building my career in various companies for about 8 years. And then I was super lucky to get into the company that was building the mobile products in Belarus. And it was the very first company which was building its own mobile applications. So this was super exciting journey, and I had crazy career growth there, and it was all like wow. And then finally the company was acquired. So the founders were super happy. The managers and me as well got their bonuses, which was very good. But also the new management that came to the company to move it further. They were the corporate guys. They were from a very, very huge corporation, and I believe that the values that they brought into this company where I worked in were a bit different to what I was used to. So my work transformed to more speaking to those managers and trying to explain what do I do, why do I make these decisions, how do we make products and stuff like that. And it was completely not interesting anymore. And then I had the choice, like, okay, I love building mobile apps, and there are 0 companies in Belarus who do this. And the choice was like moving outside Belarus or doing something on my own. And I decided to take this risk and to do my own company. So I took 2 partners. I was not alone on this journey. I don't know, Christos, if you are alone. Solo, well, this is the huge respect because I'm not brave enough for that, to be honest. So I took 2 more people to help me, and we established this company Verve. And when you ask what was the most difficult, so I took this capital I had as the bonuses, and we invested this money into company, into the design, into incorporation in the United States. And the months I did it, I got to know that I was pregnant with my first child. And I was like, all right. And to be honest, I'm coming from a very traditional family, and my husband's family is also very traditional. All of the parents were expecting like, okay, Luba, now finally relax and take care of the baby. And I was like, sorry, excuse me, no way it's gonna work like that. So it was like some kind of pressure I had to overcome, and this was crazy because I'm not sure if it happened in the different order, if I know about the baby first. And then I was like, do I do the business? I'm not sure, to be honest, which decision I would make. But then it was easy because the money were already in the business, and there was no way back. And then things started slowly to develop, and then maybe the other most difficult was the thing that you deal with the stuff you didn't do in the past. So I was the great product person. I knew how to grow products, we knew how to market them on the stores we were working with. But there were thousands of other questions, like working with legal, with accounting, with maybe some other people whom you didn't work in the past. So this was all challenging, but it was not a problem. Maybe mixing this, the baby, and by the way, I got my second child in 2 years from there. Don't ask me what my partners told me when I said to them that I'm pregnant once again. They were like, go home. So this was the most difficult to me, I would say.
And during these like tough times when you discovered that you're pregnant, have you ever experienced maybe these feelings or thought that whether it's worth it, whether you made the right decision to leave the corporate life? Because when you're like working in a company, you're pregnant, you take your maternity leave and relax. But here you cannot do this.
I don't like to relax, I would say.
I see.
So
your skill is energetic.
No, it wasn't a problem. I was not, I didn't have any thoughts like that. I just wanted I thought that I felt that I want to do it. I want to take this risk. I want to make this bet. And I just listened to my gut feelings, and this is what happened then. Mm-hmm. With some piece of luck, of course.
Thank you very much. Yeah, interesting. Tonya, so one of your exciting facts in your career is that you turned from very super successful company, fintech company, to a new startup from absolutely different segment like skincare and beauty, and you built both businesses from the scratch. So could you share please how you as a leader enhance resilience within your team And especially during the period, the difficult periods in startups, how your personal lessons can motivate the team. Can you share this with us?
Yeah, it's shortly I called it roly-poly toy mindset. It's, I don't know if you know, this is a toy which always comes back to the center. In Russian it calls nevalyashka, so yeah, I think roly-poly, yeah. I think actually it was quite, to be honest, it was quite natural for me because when in the last years when I was in a fintech company, I also was actually fascinated about AI technologies and two things, because it was it's still a revenue-driven company, and it's such a different model. And I remember that I like thinking, okay, Uber goes to IPO, and in some papers it called maybe it never be profitable, and I think, wow, I don't understand how it works, and I actually it's two things I want to understand, like technologies, and we actually those times we start to try and implement AI practically. For me it's very important, not just trying to do something with modern technologies, which could be like a marketing stuff. We try to implement it in a business process that like could work. To be honest, I try to do it since the beginning. We're starting to create some models with big data to predict user behaviors and such things. So it's like always was a. Yeah. I mean, it's some like core passion for me, which during your way, it's somehow it's show yourself in a different angles. Let's say like this, and in the end of I really was fascinated about these two things, and somehow it's actually not like I control it, but I tried some game business with my previous partner, but yeah, it's hard one actually. It's very red ocean, and when we are starting to do this game business, also I was approached by some investors, and they asked me to help with the company because it was like in a pivotal moment, and they decided rather than close it or to do something. So, and it was like all the things together. So it was AI-based company, and it was investor model. So it's not like solid revenue inside. So yeah, and I decided to try, but I do prefer revenue-driven business. Like I can say right now, because investor-based business, where it's very hard for my mindset. I mean, it is very. When I started to say roly-poly mindset, it's you should know what is your core. This core will lead you through all the different times, and as for me, if you know what is like totally core of you, you always can come back. It's like a home place, like a feeling of home inside you. And ideally, when you build your company, this core thing, the sum of this like your core values of the company should be cut from the same cloth as your core thing. So in this case, you will not have any inside conflict. Otherwise, if you have this inside conflict, it always cuts your energy each single day. Because if you have a conflict with the values inside you and inside your company, it will always hold you back. I don't say that you cannot moving forward. But
You just feel empty. I think it's such
but it's a quick, short cheat code to burn out. Yeah, to have this conflict. And this is the thing. So ideally, this like center feeling, this core thing became true values, not like a values. I have this quite a great experience when a lot of top managers, brilliant CEOs and founders sitting together and try to think, okay, what will be the mission? Okay, what will be the values? Yeah, I hate this. Yeah, and it's because it's like a major thing to do. So every company should have a values, and this values should be looks good. But for me, sometimes it's better to say that you love money, and all together you love money, and it will be truly honest, and nobody will be misleading about some other values, which, like for example, sometimes other like co-founders or people do not share with you. So, and this is the thing. So it's I call it total honesty, and I think this total honesty is a starting point, and you're starting it from yourself. So you try to be, and it is practice. It's not like one thing you do. Okay, honestly, I love money. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, yeah. No, it's a process, and as for me, is a big thing that when I start to be more honest with myself, then I bring this honesty to my team. And in sometimes, for example, when this the war was started and etc., or some different moments, you can like I think. Everybody, especially if you like not the owner, you maybe struggle with sometimes like people screaming on you, boss screaming on you, and like very tense. And it's to be honest, most of these things comes from the fear, because person may be feared about that there is, like tomorrow there will be no salary for you, or they will not hit some KPIs, and it's a lot of tension and. People do not how to handle with this tension and become like aggressive. But sometimes, and I practice it like I think maybe last 2 or 3 years, it's a vulnerability. So I can say, okay, for example, I don't feel this plan, confident about this plan. Maybe we try something else. Or maybe, so it's not about screaming and like be tensed about, I can say that, no, I'm not feeling that it will work for us, or like I'm really, at least for the top managers or co-founders, you can say that, and this actually really fascinates that you are solo, because it's extremely hard, and to go, when you're a startup, it could be very struggling sometimes. And when your founders and co-founders and a top management team share the same values, it is a very supportive environment to go through very different and difficult times, because every company actually goes from these times. But this is, I think, I just want to emphasize that it's quite a tricky nuance. You should understand that same values, it's not the same views. And it's rather like a lot of partnerships builds like we have unity of, for example, views, but difference in values. It's better to have difference in views, because the more versatility of views you have in your company, actually the more resilient you will be. But the values should be the same, then you will be like in the core center. You will be the same, you will be leading by the same passion as ladies already mentioned.
Yes, I see that it's really important to have common value in the company. So I think if you have this common value, you will operate like a good orchestra.
Yeah, and it's important that it's okay to like have some, let's say, small conflicts. I mean, you can be not agree in some things. For example, I can be more about strategy, and my CFO could be more about numbers and very nerdy, and I can be pissed off, blah blah blah. But it's okay. But if in the same way all about the same passion, the same value,
Money.
yeah. Yeah, it will work. But if somebody if you sit in and all agree with you, but inside the different values, for example, it could be so it's okay to be for example, we want revenues, and some founder wants, for example, growth, and it should be a lot of investments, but other founders want revenues, and we go to the core values. So how you deal with this topic. It's okay. It's I think every company.
Yeah, nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, I like your experience where you keen to switch different absolutely segments. Games, fintech, beauty. It's a great experience. Krisa, let me come back to you. So, around 3 months ago, you celebrate 8th anniversary of your company, right? And do you have mentors or maybe any role models or people who inspire you and who gives you energy to push to propel your company to go to the next level?
Well, I have to say that I plan to share something different about that one, but I got inspired by your conversation about the essence of values. So let me start by explaining why I started Strongly initially. So before Strongly, for 5 years, I changed 4 jobs. And it's not because I was not loyal to the company. I felt that those companies did nothing really to nurture me, to get me to be loyal, to feel part of the team. And I didn't feel like my personal values aligned with those values. But as a consultant, my previous consultancy, I stayed for actually 2 years. That was a success for me. So as a consultant, my role was to go and sit down with other organizations and observe about how they were built, not just to do data analysis. And I was an analyst before, so I was doing a lot of data analysis, coming back with strategic plans. Very, let's say, stressful type of job, but I was enjoying it. But what I enjoyed the most was to see how they were structured. What was the management like? What were the offices? Was the management sitting with the with the employees? And I formed correlations in my mind about what a successful company looks like based on how they operate as a team. So my initial incentive was I wanted to build my own team because I wanted to also invest on creating a company culture that works. So what you said about the values, we have 5 values at Strongly, and every single time that we recruit for a new person, we have a specific person that works at Strongly, is an employee engagement officer, that her role is to identify whether they fit to those values.
It's very.
And I had a very recent example. Last year, we employed a front-end developer. We were in the plants, and I've seen this guy that I really liked, but he didn't have the skills. And there was this other lady that she had the skills on paper. And my main takeaway, he came and said, listen, Chriso, she has the skills. She might not be the life of the party, but she has the skills. And there was one value that was not met. So we got that lady, and that was one of the hardest things I've done in my life, was to fire her last week because she didn't fit with the team, and she changed the whole energy about that. So I'm not doing that ever again. So going back to your question though, you asked about role models, right?
Yes, right. Mentors and role models.
Okay. So I split my role models into 2 parts. One being I have company role models. So my company crush is Airbnb. I like their essence, I like their brand mission, I like how they convey that mission, I like the minimalistic element of how their website looks, the user experience, desktop, mobile, the way they communicate with you over the email, the way they talk to you on the phone. And that was for me my aspiration for my tech startup, which has nothing to do with bookings. It's an email creation platform, to mimic that experience and to align with those missions. And in terms of role models, I do have a lot from time to time. I don't watch people like podcasts, etc. I learn by example. So I've learned from the managers I had before that it really inspired me to be the leader I am today. And I also learned from people whose examples I didn't like to ensure that I don't do that. And the best thing I've done, and it's also a suggestion if any of you are either running their own business or are about to do that, to join a mastermind group. If you don't know what a mastermind group is, it can be, you can Google it, mastermind. But it's essential to grow a group of people that they're like-minded, and whose whole purpose is to inspire you and to make you accountable. So I do that twice, every 2 weeks. We are a team of 3 founders. We do more or less similar elements, and ever since I've joined that mastermind group, I can say with certainty that I feel like even more successful. I'm more confident as a CEO. So that would be definitely an advice I would give for you guys and ladies. Just saying.
It's interesting. So do you organize like mindset sessions only like 3 of you, or you invite also the team of your company?
It's just for other founders. So if you're a CEO, especially if you're a solo CEO, I don't know how it works if it's more, you're like operating on your own. I have a technical lead, which he acts like a CTO, but he's not, and I have a senior product manager who acts like a COO, but she's not, like on paper. So I feel like in my company, it's me who gets to make decisions, and sometimes they're hard decisions, and it's not like I have someone to bounce them off those decisions. And having that group, that tribe of other founders that we bounce off ideas and we showcase about our struggles and we learn from each other. So it's not team members, but I found it's my founder's team.
You like mentoring each other.
Yes. So
yeah, I think it's quite like high level of support each other also.
Yes, we worked at our own format. There's different formats online. But if any of you had a question about that, I'm happy to answer after the panel.
Yeah, thank you very much. Luba, so building a business, and especially like in your company, you build different products, a lot of products actually, and I think it's also about the ups and downs. Yeah, I see a smile, probably yes. So how do you deal with these risks, with these changes, and then celebrate success? How you deal with this? What gives you energy? What gives you energy to explore new ideas, to continue, maybe like develop your company or find new company? And maybe like, have you ever felt this like, oh, I'm done, I want to quit, stop, and not do this anymore?
Yeah, okay, so I would say that there were 2 different phases. So initially, when I decided to do my own business, I had just $20,000, and this was the capital I'm about to bet into the business. So there were 3 of us, we had 60,000, as you might imagine. And we did this mobile company for 60,000. Now you may laugh, yes, because now it's like you have to have millions and it's still nothing. So we had this 60,000 and we said, okay, let's spend a year and see what happens. So the bet was 60,000 and 1 year, and then we had to meet again and discuss the success and the traction. And so those money were enough to make about 3 or 4 products, as far as I remember, and one of them became really very successful. So the traction was there, and it was very easy, because this was the proof, this was the validation. We created the product running for weight loss, and it hit all of the app stores. We became more popular than Fitbit, than Nike Plus Running, and other applications, and it was like, wow, we are there. And of course, then you sit and think, okay, what's the next thing I want to do? And then we decided, okay, let's maybe diversify some risks, then let's build some other products. And then we started building the new applications, and each of them typically got more and more successful. And this was the traction that we were, of course, looking for. And the decisions were always very easy. So this was that simple. Of course, there are ups and downs. Of course, all the time, And I think one of the best things that helped us is having the other founders. That is why, you are my superstar, because I cannot believe I would be able to do it by myself. Now, when I have this experience of 12 plus years, I am considering, I'm still not there, Yeah, so when ladies or men ask me if they could be the solo founder, my typical answer is, don't do it for the first startup. Usually I say, don't do this, you'd better have a team of like-minded people who share the same values and all of that stuff. So I had 2 more partners, and each of us had their own ups and downs through different times, but I always felt their back when I had my own tough times. When I had my own small kids, the other ones didn't have that. So yeah, this was a very good thing to have. And the other one is, of course, the support of my family. So when we figured out this case with kids, and everybody got used to the fact that I'm a working mommy, and stopped all of those discussions, like when I'm gonna sit home and do nothing, they finally started supporting me in the way I loved and saying like, wow, you're doing some success, we are proud of you. Wow, let's have a nanny, let's have a babysitter, let's have a housekeeper. And then of course it all helped me a lot, and gave a lot of inspiration. I would say this was the most important. But then when the business became a huge company, it all became about the business decision you're making. You have analytics through all of the products, and then you see what is more successful, what is less successful, where the market is going, are we investing into this or that. I would say this is more pragmatic. Mm-hmm. When the business is becoming bigger, when you're a startup, you're like listening to your gut feeling all the time. But when you are big and you're making big bets, not these 60,000 but millions of dollars, then you have to have these analytics in place, and it's more pragmatic. Yeah, now I miss the times when we were a small, tiny startup and we could make decisions like, I don't care, let's do this.
You follow just your emotions.
Yeah, this is what I love doing still.
Yes, but I think it's also important to celebrate some success also. With your own and with your team, it gives some energy to my mind. Okay?
Yes, sure. All of those corporate events, all of those spontaneous small parties, or maybe when you earn the first money and then you buy something for yourself, at least, finally, like a new Prada bag or whatever. This is all very important, because this feeling of being grateful, this feeling of like being happy with what is happening, I do believe that this is super important, that you show it and you have it inside, and then you experience it more often.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for sharing this. So you slightly around 10 years in tech industry, right? More, a little bit more also. And like the tech industry itself, it's the segment that is very changeable. It's very dynamic, and of course we need to have a special mindset to know how to deal with these changes all the time. So could you please share with us how you manage, and especially like you change the segments, but I really like it because I think it's difficult to change your view and this sort of knowledge you gain from all the segments. So how you deal with these changes of the industry, especially when you move from one segment to another?
Great, but first of all, I just want to say that it looks like it's hard or difficult to change, but I think entrepreneurship is like the way you see things. So you can, when I started to talk about AI, not like I myself create these new things or like learning my CTO, yes, but me
no, but I do understand how it works, what should be done, and like what I try to say. If you have real like nature or keen interest in something, it's you just like need some time, or maybe good advisors you can rely on. But what I just want to inspire, not be held in some area or segmented. Believe in yourself. So if you're really interested about something, the learning curve will be like on your side. So if you're really interested, so you will learn very fast. The main thing is like how you think about the things. And this is like, as for me, is very, like thinking out of the box and etc. So it's entrepreneurship, braveness, like maybe gut feeling as well. So it's quite, like think you can apply to different areas. What I try to say, maybe like.
I think it's a special mindset when you can face these changes and you love it.
Yeah, it's what I have some example which like really drives me crazy. I think somebody asked Karl Lagerfeld how they like handle, because they have these collections, a lot of collections each year, and it's like not like winter, summer, like it's like in the middle, so it's maybe like I may be mistaken, like around 10 collections each year, and they ask how you like handle these changes and every time, because they need to like create it from scratch each time. And his answer like inspired me. It was like a lot of years ago. He told that I do love changes, so I mean, it's not a tension for him. And it was like, and about your question, it's actually a very good one. There is this thing, so you want to like, I heard this thought, very interesting. I think it's a time perception. You wanna become rich fast, or you wanna become rich forever? And the answer will be different for these questions. It's not like from different universes, but still, to be honest, the versatility, you should learn how to act fast, but in the right time. And we like modern world feeling like at Speedy Gonzales. It's a lot of changes and science and chatbots and all these LLM models, which maybe like cost some careers and it's like. But the thing is, I think the main thing is that like time perception. For example, if you have a vision for your life. It could be vision for 1 year or 1 month, and actually when some things happen like unpleasant one, your time perception always shorten and makes your actions a little bit more conservative, or not a proactive, more reactive. And if you, in every situation, still have a vision for yours, like for your life, for example, for 10 years, and for your company for 10 years, I don't say that in 10 years it will be like, it's never the same like your vision about it, but if you have it, it's a frame question. Each time you have, for example, as like hype of something, you can ask how it helped me to achieve my vision in 10 years. Will it help? How can I implement it to achieve it? And it's like, I think it's lowers the like pressure, because when, at least because I was like in this AI industry. Yeah, interesting. When it all starts, sometimes you see that it was AI everything. Because it was so like fascinating to do some AI stuff. Maybe it's like even unpractical. Just you put it, and the value of your company drives up. It's not like to the like now it's harder, but I mean sometimes it's just like hype of something, and you put this, and about this was fast and slow. I have some example when. In the AI, it was, I think you all of you like witnessed this when it was like stable diffusion model, which allows you to create very beautiful avatars of, you know, your fairy tale, your whatever Luke Skywalker thing, Star Wars. So like, and to be honest, because I was like inside of this thing technically and business-wise, what I can say. I think it was a week thing, or maybe 2 weeks thing, or when company adopt the new technology, and the first one will bring like grab all the revenues. And this is the truth, so it's low-hanging fruits. But I just try to like in the same company, just want to try to show you what the time perception. In the moment, like become rich fast or become like grab the low-hanging fruits. You like move very fast. To be honest, you should have skills. They're like the companies absolutely like have a very good skills to make this. But in 3 or 4 months, everybody forget about avatars because it was funny. It was like very interesting. But in a year base. It was like a struggle for company how to repeat these numbers or how to retain these users. I mean, it doesn't mean that you don't know like ride this wave and try to like have these low-hanging fruits. But what I try to say, so if you put the right question, you have an answer. So if you want to become like rich forever, or you want to achieve some life in 10 years, which about all your vision, so you make decisions because the time frame really affects the quality of your decisions. And this is the very important thing, I think. But to be honest, I think eventually, like we are science-based, we are creatures of evolution. Yeah, and. It's sometimes it's funny to remember that in terms of evolution, and actually our body is
Will
also changes, and but in terms of evolutions, our body adopts much slower. So it's like, to be honest, 100 years is nothing for evolution because we became what we are. It's like took quite a lot of time, and sometimes it's sobering to remember that sometimes what we think is fast, we should to look at this in a different paradigm. I mean, and actually, like everything is changing. It's natural goals of life. It's natural flow of life to change.
Stable thing.
But to see things clearly, sometimes you need to slow down. But in the right moment, you should act very fast. But to act very fast, and precisely, you need to have some skills.
Yes, I see. But do you think 10 years to plan something? Right now, in the world, in the industry, in the world, everything changed very fast. And how accurate this plans, if you plan for 10 years, so I think it's very like long horizon of planning.
You should plan big. You should plan big because maybe dream big. It's very good. Dream big because you like stretching yourself. The more you stretch yourself, the more you allow yourself to be. And when you have this vision, maybe you will change it in a couple of years. But you always. When you have a plan for 10 years, you always kind of frame a question about today's decisions. it would be not reactive, it would be more proactive one, and you should not be afraid of changes. Well, like, eventually we don't want to lose our comfort zone, and it's okay because we are humans and we like designed to like trying to be comfy persons. I mean, nobody wants to ruin his lives. So, but when you accept it, I think that time perception is the key to this accepting changes. For me, at least, it works like this. If you ask yourself right questions in the right time framing, so it will help you to make more like decisions more wise. But what I see the patterns. I think when you are young, you move fast because you have. I mean, it's
Yes, you agree?
I mean, it's eventually you have a lot of energy. Sometimes maybe your decision is not super wise or something, and for a lot of people, first capital is actually like maybe fast decision making capital, but then you start to be more analytical, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you start to thinking about how. And actually, about the technology is the same. What I want to try to say, try to do something meaningful. And to do something meaningful, you need a time. It's harder to make something meaningful in 1 month, even in a 2. And when you do something meaningful, like for 10 years, it will be long-lasting. Maybe in the moment, looks like you lose. I mean, compared to others.
Yes.
But long-lasting, probably you will win. But to make this long-lasting, I don't know, maybe anyone of you tried to run marathons. For me, it was a nightmare, to be honest, because I was a sprinter, always be a sprinter in my core, and I mindfully put myself in this marathon thing because I want to learn for business how to. Because it's a different pace. If you start very fast, you will end unless you are a monster, like athlete monster could be, but if you have no previous experience, yeah, so you will try how to put your energy right, long lasting, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tanya. Thank you. Rizal, come back to you. So you are like a driven entrepreneur, networker, and speaker from international conference and summit, like Web Summit. You was a speaker there, and checking also comments. So I look through your LinkedIn page. So your speak on the Web Summit especially was mentioned full of energy and the confidence. Now, I would like to ask you about the confidence. Do you think this is something very crucial for to have such skill to be confident? And how you build your confidence?
Okay. Well, I'll talk from my own personal experience. And I'm also going to Web Summit in Qatar next week, and I'm having a different speech. So I'm going to look for your comments then.
Yes.
I'm going to reach out on LinkedIn. Watch out. So for me, confidence was key in starting out because I can feel that if you have the knowledge, it's great, but the knowledge. If you want to build something great, you need that confidence to go and say, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it. So I find that confidence is very crucial because confidence opens doors, especially if you are a woman. And if you're a woman in the tech space. So we're all 3 here women in tech. I'm not sure if you can resonate with that, but 10 years ago when I started my journey, I also have the tendency to look younger than what I am. And it was very hard to convince people that, I'm a really tech geeky person with a programming background. And to convey that, I have to showcase that with confidence. And that confidence for me opened doors. So I found that's very crucial for that. But then to build the confidence is not a process you do that once you decide to do something. It's a process that you can do in your current job or even growing up. I was actually very lucky because my mother was also here, etc. She was also one of my role models. She raised me thinking, I never thought that there was a diversity of women and men, about that, because she was a natural go-getter, and she always would tell us, if you really believe something, you can do it. So there were things I didn't manage to do, and I felt it's because I didn't really believe in them. So when I decided I wanted to do something, I really believed in that, and I felt it, and I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it. And you also asked how I built that confidence?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to tell you an example. It's I'm not sure if it's a random one, but you guys can decide. We can do a voting afterwards. When I was a digital marketing consultant, I joined this firm. It was a big firm, but it was very male-dominated. And I was one of the very few women in that firm. And they made me to do, like the simple stuff, do some analysis, background work, but I didn't want to do the background work. I wanted to go there and speak with clients and be, doing the real work. And the company was doing also different workshops, and they sold this big project. They were going to do 8 workshops in 8 different countries for Orange, the telecommunications provider. So they had one in London, they had one in France, and one day I was leaving a bit late from work, and I overheard the director saying that they got really bad feedback from both of the 2 workshops, and that the client said that they felt that it was too generic, it wasn't really a personalized workshop, and the person didn't even make the effort to understand the landscape. He was also American, not racist, etc., but we're talking Europe, different buying, decision-making than America. So, and I went home and I was thinking, you know what, if I was the one doing it, they would not have had that feedback. And then the next day I thought, well, I should go and tell them that. So I knocked at my director's door, which, by the way, we didn't really have that relationship. It was very, but I thought I'm going to go and knock the door. And I said, do you have a moment? And he said, yeah, come in. And I sat down. And then I said, sorry, but I overheard this feedback and I've seen the survey. And the next one you're doing, it's in Spain. Well, I think I can do a great job because I am Mediterranean. I have Spanish eyebrows, which, by the way, I don't. And I speak the language. I went home that day regretting the very fact that I went in because I felt that it was the worst thing I've said to a person. He didn't show interested. Long story short, 2 months later, my manager invites me. That director quit, but then apparently in his handover notes, he said, get Chriso to do that workshop. So my manager invites me to the meeting. He said, we have this opportunity. There is a workshop in Spain, in Madrid. You're doing it, also in Spanish, by the way. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, I had endless days, weeks, but that was my opportunity. And that really helped me build the confidence that if I go I demand in a hassly way, because I really believed I could do it. It's not that I have the confidence on its own. I knew that I had the skills, so put the skills and the confidence, and it was a very good combination. So that was a very key moment for me to then go and seek opportunities on my company, and I wasn't afraid to do that. I was one of the only women that was about to become a senior consultant. 3 months before, though, I quit because I thought I don't really want to become a senior consultant. I have other plans in my life. But if that company wanted to make me a senior consultant, I thought another company might want to make me one if I decide I want to go back to that. So I built the confidence over time by trialing and erroring, but always not forgetting the fact that I believe in what I was doing, and I think this is important. If you know your product, if you know your idea, whether it's in well-being, meditation, and fitness, and I really want to know what Verb does, by the way, I'm going to search it later. And you have the skills and the knowledge, then you have to not be afraid to communicate that. And you don't need to know everything, but you need to be confident in what you say, not to not to say more things that what you're not, and also know where to show that confidence. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Luba, and let's talk about the recipe of the building resilience and to have the skills. Your main products connected to fitness and sport. So how do you think how sport contribute to building resilience, to make good habits, and to build the mindset for entrepreneurs?
I'm a huge sports fan, so this is what I have to say. Yes, and not only because it's connected to to my business. I'm also the professional sportsman in the past, so I've been doing gymnastics for 6 years professionally. And to be honest, I've been interviewing like hundreds and hundreds of people, and later on I realized if I see a professional sportsman near me, this is the person I always like to hire. So number one advice, if you have kids, do put them in some professional sports, because I do believe it strongly helps you to build some stamina, and you have like more self-esteem and everything. So yes, this is very important. If you started in childhood, it's the best. If not, then do it right now, just right now. Because there was the moment in time in my career when I just realized that it's the bottom, the very bottom, and I just can't do anything else until I had some sports in my life. It was the period when I probably had some babies, and then I did not have any time, and then I realized, oh my God, I am done, I want to close everything. And then I was like, okay, let's bring some workouts back in my life, and it really helped me because it helps you to sleep better, then the motivation is there, you are in the better mood, you are maybe physically more attractive, and you have more self-esteem after all, and confidence. So I think that sports is like absolutely irreplaceable thing for every entrepreneur, and maybe for every person who's building their careers in their lives. But there are some other things you could do, not only sports. I'm sure you all know about meditations, you all know about maybe connecting to nature. For example, the things that work amazingly for me is I need to have time for myself. Having a family, having huge companies, lots of people who want to talk to you, and then when finally I stay on my own and it's quiet and I'm like, I have my 5 minutes or 30 minutes or 2 hours of absolutely quiet and calm, and I'm becoming more relaxed and I have some more ideas. It's not necessarily that I meditate, no, even not necessarily. So those are the things that are helping me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Tanya, you also do yoga, do surfing, yeah, and tennis. So you also live very active life. And how sport help you to also be motivated, maybe to handle the burnout from work?
To be honest, it's better not to handle. It's better to prevent.
Not to have it.
Yeah, but to be honest, to prevent something, you should experience it. I mean, you should know how it felt in your body, in your nervous system, so then you can understand when you close, because everybody is different. I mean, different triggers or circumstances could lead to burnout, and you should be very, let's say, in a good way, sensitive to yourself, care about yourself. And sport, one of the, and this is actually the thing, because I also previous was a sport, not like gymnastics, but acrobatics. Yeah, was professional, and actually, I agree about that. Sport gives me a lot. I mean, in my mindset and like how I handle some stress situation and etc. But I wanted to share with you some example, some tricky thing which I experienced in my life, and not only me, because actually I agree with you, some like masterminds also help and community help. and because I like also part of some entrepreneurs community, we share some experience, burnouts, like really dramatic burnouts sometimes. I would say very different, very interesting thing. Maybe you know this experiment with boiled frog. It's quite a famous one. In this experiment, if you put frog in hot water, the frog jumps out immediately. But if you put a frog in a cold water and then slowly heat it up, yes, the frog remain the place, and in some moment, the frog cooked. Hello, burnout, yeah. And this is very important. Sometimes entrepreneurs is a very energetic people, and yes, a lot of made some sports, meditation. Like I can say you a lot of stuff like let's have a cold showers. It really works. But I mean, like right diet and etc. But sometimes you design your life. It's actually your professional life to be more efficient, to have energy when you have these very difficult moments when you're down. And sometimes you build your life the way you became a cooked frog, because you like all this practice. Actually, all this practice is a wonderful one, especially ancient one. And by design, this practice is about how to increase quality of your life. And quality of your life not equal efficiency in your work. This is the difference, and sometimes we put all this like, let's meditate, because all the entrepreneurs meditate, let's meditate each morning like a crazy, and etc. And you build your life like very tensed. You start at 6 or 5 in the morning, meditate, like going through
All this routine,
and this is the key, is routine, not a ritual. Like just like do it with yourself, like say something like I do this routine, how you feel this word routine in your body, and then like the same thing you can create a ritual feel quite the different way, because ritual about something I care about myself, do something good for myself, and etc. And meditation could be like eventually in the nature. And for me, for example, very simple thing I checked. Can I enjoy this? I live in a like close to Paphos, and it's a stunning sunset.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely stunning sunsets. And if I cannot enjoy it, something goes wrong. Something goes wrong in my life. I mean, I'm very curious about all this biohacking, and I can say a lot of practice, like for each part of your life, and which could like increase dopamine and other things. But what I want you to encourage to think about not how to design your professional life and how to build everything to put more energy, more efficiency, but design your life in a wholeness. And in a wholeness, it's how you experience your life in the full way. Sunsets, smiles of your children, and a lot of things like butterflies. Just wanna encourage you to find what motivates, because sports for me it's not a routine. To be honest, I do love tennis. I'm not doing anything to make me motivate to do this, but I know a lot of people that they like, oh, we should go to gym.
Yeah,
and I go to gym.
Find their own way. Yeah.
Maybe it dance, maybe it works. Like find what makes you feel good.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we are run out of time, so maybe just two final words of why it's important to be resilient, and maybe like some topics, some like tips for our audience you can share with us.
I just want to say, I think you should not let anybody tell you that you are not capable of doing something. I do believe that women are more resilient. They are able to be dealing with more stress than men. They're able of everything. We are able of everything. And at the end of the day, we are more beautiful than men. So don't let anybody tell you that you are limited, that you are not able to do something. Just believe in yourself and go for it. Go for what you wanna. It's not about resilience. It's about like everything. We are amazing, so let's keep doing this.
For me, it's find where your passion is and pursue it. You know, whether that's if you want to do something on your own or even at the company that you work in. And don't be let down with rejection. Learn from rejection. If you want to do something and you get rejected, it's okay. Do the same thing again and again. I can tell you many stories of rejection that got me here. So, and don't be afraid to fail. Failure, it's amazing. Trust me. But fail at the beginning so that you don't get to do that later on. It's always easier. And going back to the first one, find what you're really good at and do it with passion.
I just want to support the previous speaker with the amazing quote of Churchill. I believe when you go from one failure to another with the same enthusiasm, I think it's quite about this. For me, the most important thing I like to stay alive. I mean, like this is true fluidity of life in you, which leads by like nature curiosity and interest. When you felt this, I very believe in that the body is the most, like mind can say you a lot of things and explain it in a different way, but the body is ancient wisdom in us. And when you really truly interested in something, you feel very alive. And as for me, in my body, this life, I felt like a champagne. When I feel something which is really interesting, I like something in my body which cannot be mistaken. And what I want you to encourage is, please do not, like, life could be challenging, different, and sometimes we became a little bit mechanical, so we try to do what is right, how leadership should look like, and how it should be in the right way. Should be, this is the thing, should be, and this is a mask you try to put on yourself to be like accepted by the society or like for your community maybe. But there is, I think that this resilience and this like guidance is a true nature in you, which is this life interest. Like you're really curious about what's going next or how this is work. That's why I actually just like to create some. I do want to create companies or teams because life teams. It's like it becomes life.
You make it kind of life.
Yeah, it's a little small life, and sometimes it's bigger than you think when you create it. And this fascinates me. So when you do something which is not right, but like leads by your curiosity, but your passion, and it always leads you through the difficult times.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our speakers and the audience. We have a small, very beautiful present from our partners from Deluxe Event Studio. Please. and the certificates. Yeah, and certificates from Sol del Mare Salon. It's our partners. You can visit them and treat yourself a little bit to have relax. Thank you very much.